I'm gonna just do a video like this because this wheel makes my head look really small and I kind of like it like that. I'm not gonna lie. My head looks really big on camera. What's happening? I was like listening to a lot of YouTube videos, watching a lot of YouTube videos, like Mel Robbins, I believe her last name is. That kind of got me to like evaluating how I view friendship, because she was like talking about how like it's a friend that you can call at 4 a.m. and just talk for the sake of talking and not because there's like necessarily something happened in your life. That's not exactly how I operate at all. I don't go to my friends randomly and just call them up. If something does happen in my life, I tend to internalize it and or talk it out with my sister. My friends aren't my emotional support system. And I was thinking about like what led me to this point, because as I was growing up, I really envied people's friendships. I struggled a lot socially in terms of like making friends and at school socializing. I always felt different and felt like people were talking to me just to be nice and not necessarily because they wanted to, but they had to. And or they felt bad if they didn't talk to me because I was such a loner. So and now I'm like, wow, like younger Stephanie would have really loved to be loved by a lot of people, so a lot of friendships, and being that go-to person that people can come to. I really liked the idea of being someone's safe space until I became someone's safe space, and it was just a lot of emotional labor. Not to say that if my friends have an issue, I want to like not help them, but more so that if they keep coming at me with the same issue or like, I don't know, it was really circumstance by circumstance. But so why did I become so avoidant if when I was younger I really craved this kind of friendship? I think it's because I've learned I don't want to put my emotional labor on my friends. I'm not trying to make my friends' lives harder, and I know how that sounds because it's kind of like, no, that's a bad way of thinking because you're supposed to rely on your friends and you're not a burden to your friends, and I get that. I'm definitely on the opposite end of the spectrum where it's like not healthy to be so much like I don't want to be a burden. There's definitely like a midpoint there that people should aim to be at and rely on their friends for certain things, but there's definitely a point where it's like too much, you know what I'm saying? um, but yeah, so I thought back and maybe it's because I moved schools. I grew up in America, you know, went to an American school, and then at one point because of my dad's job, I moved out of the country to a country in Asia. Yeah, so I went to an Asian international school, and because of that life event, I learned to kind of like not put so much importance in proximity with my friends. It's kind of like my American school friends, I'd be like, when I come back, we're still gonna be friends, and I don't need to be like maintaining that friendship through like email chains or messengers. All my friends basically are due to proximity, or like my mom introduced me to her friends, or like through church and church friends, and my sister's friends became my friends. It was hard for me to make friends, or like I would be the one that a friend adopts into their friend group. That's usually how it goes. But yeah, after I moved to the international school, I remember that I still felt very like I stuck out like a sore thumb because one, I'm in an Asian school with a lot of Asian people and white people. But yeah, so then after being in international school for like 2 years, headed back to America. And in America, I came back to my friends and kind of expected the friendships to just continue where they left off. And some of them did, some of them didn't. But it was just like a normal day, a regular day. Like, I don't need my friends to be that close to me. I don't need to be hanging out with them all the time. I rarely hang out with my friends outside of school, except it's for like church. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the way I view friendship is really different from how a lot of my friends view friendship. And I feel them accommodating to me a lot, because they crave a friendship where you meet up all the time, deep emotional talks, but that's not how I necessarily operate. And at times, yeah, I know I'm the one that's not doesn't have a healthy view of, is it healthy view of friendship? I think I could definitely invest more in my friends if I had the capacity to. But I get really drained really easily. So basically what I'm trying to say is I think by going to like an international school and just like picking up my life and going to a different, like, I've learned to live without my friends being there next to me all the time and hanging out all the time and talking all the time. Friendship was more like a bond, and like, I got your back, you got my back. But now that I'm going through life, because my friends don't have that experience of like picking up your life and like having to make new friends completely, like, maybe you could say like college is close, but I guess they don't truly understand, or might not understand my mindset, being able to be away from friends for a long time. And I guess, I mean, I'm generalizing a lot. I just think that moving to an international school is like a big part of like me being able to just accept that my friends aren't going to be there all my time, and my family is. I think family is very important to me. I think instead of going to my friends, I go to my family, I go to myself. And I feel bad that there's a disconnect between me and my friends sometimes. But at the same time, you know, some people are a little bit too. Nah, I can't say that. Everyone's different. Yeah. Basically, that's kind of a rant that kind of didn't make sense. I kind of tried to make it about my international school experience and how that impacted me and how I view friendships. But honestly, a lot of life events happen in my life where, understandably, I don't keep people that close. Even though I technically have a lot of friends, but like, do I? If that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna pick up my potbelly. It's done.